Well, hello and welcome. I am John with Local Leader, and today we're going to talk about how to get up to 50% more calls and visits for your local business and do it without advertising, cold calling, pay per lead, or networking. In this training, I will be focusing on things you can do for free to get more calls and visits, but at the end of the presentation, I will offer to do it for you if you like and will include some special bonuses. A quick disclaimer: your actual results will depend on many factors, so we cannot guarantee a 50% increase in calls or visits, but it is achievable under the right conditions. In fact, it's possible that you'll see even more than a 50% increase in calls and visits, possibly much, much more. Here's a case where the number of calls increased by 175% over a 30-day period. And here's a case where they increased by 355% over a 30-day period. So, how can you achieve these kind of results without spending any money? The short answer is just one word, and that's Google. Here's some stats. Google totally dominates the search engine market with a 92% share, and 87% of consumers use Google to search for local businesses. Here I've done a quick search for carpet cleaners near me, and this is what shows up. The top result is actually a sponsored or a paid ad. I tend to ignore those because I know that they're artificially placed there. I call it a Google bribe. The top three results in reality are the ones that I've circled here. They've earned that position, and so those are the ones that I pay attention to. And that is what we're talking about today. This is where we want to get your business. So, exactly how much can Google help your business? The average business receives over 1,000 views on Google every month, and of course, some receive many more than that. The top 16% of businesses receive more than 100 calls per month through Google. What kind of local businesses are people searching for? Well, there's many kinds. Restaurants may be near the top of the list, as well as other food and drink establishments. But we have many more: beauty and spas, health and fitness, retail stores, home services of all kinds, automotive services, pet services, travel and transportation. And if you don't mind, I'm going to hide myself here because I'm in the way. We also have things to do and professional services. This is not an exhaustive list, but you can see that there are a lot of them. The bottom line is this: Google is one of the most effective ways for local businesses to connect with consumers. And the best part, they don't charge a dime for their service. Google is truly a business owner's best friend. They offer the least expensive, most effective way to be found on the internet today. By performing some simple tasks on a consistent basis, your Google ranking will climb, and you'll be surprised at how many more calls and visits you receive. So, how do you do this exactly? Well, let's look at ranking factors. These are the things that Google looks at to determine your ranking. You can see there are several of them, but we're going to mostly be focusing on the top two, which are Google Business Profile and reviews. These two alone outrank or outweigh all the other factors combined. So you'll get your biggest bang for the buck if you just focus on these two. So let's first talk about Google Business Profile. What is it exactly? Here's a business profile for Bogey's Bar and Grill, which is a restaurant near me. Here's their same profile, but just showing up on a different part of the page. This is what their profile looks like on my smartphone. A Google Business Profile, which was formerly known as Google My Business, is a free tool provided by Google that allows businesses to manage their online presence. The profile includes business information like the business name, category, hours of operation, contact details, directions to the business, customer reviews, ratings, and more. It helps businesses to connect with customers, improve their online visibility, and increase their brand awareness. And by the way, whenever I use the word customers in this presentation, I'm also referring to clients, patients, patrons, or whatever term you use in your business. So, how do you get a Google Business Profile? Google gives every business a profile at no cost. If you're an established business, Google will create the profile automatically for you without any action on your part, and all you need to do is claim it. If you're a new business, you can create a profile by simply submitting some information to Google about your business. Now, let's talk about a couple of the features of Google Business Profiles. And another disclaimer, Google is constantly making changes. The information I present is accurate as of today, which is March 29th. 2023, but will likely change in the future, just so you know. So here's basic information in Stanley Steamer's profile. It's got things like their business hours, phone number, website, a list of services, service areas, and their actual address. They also give directions, make it real easy for people to find you. They have a call button, and Google tracks all the calls, and that's just so that you'll know how people are finding you. Photos are extremely important. These are just some examples. Reviews will show up this way inside your Google Business Profile. Here's a list of services, and here's a list of products that will show up in your profile. As you can see, the products include images, which is very important. This is the reason why we actually recommend that you list your services as products. So that's a pro tip for you, because if you list your service as a product, you can include images. Here's an example of a law firm where they have actually listed their services as products. They show up very prominently near the top of the profile, and the images help it stand out. These are not the greatest images. Perhaps you can find even better ones. Questions and answers. People can ask questions in your profile, and then you have an opportunity to answer those commonly asked questions, and they'll show up in your profile. Here's an important feature that businesses often overlook or fail to turn on, which is Google Chat. This is an easy way for people to connect with you. A lot of people would prefer this method over calling you, at least initially. Now, you may want a phone call, of course, but if you can at least begin a conversation just using Google Chat or a text message, which is what this is, that is a good way to just open the door and lead to an actual sale. The request to quote button will be available on depending on the category that you've selected for your business. But this is similar to the chat button in that it just makes it's another way for people to connect with you easily. The book online feature makes it easy for customers to schedule an appointment with you. So in this case, they're scheduling massages. You may want people to schedule phone calls, whatever, depending on your type of business, this may be a useful feature. Restaurants have their own set of features, including table reservations, online ordering, and pickup and delivery options. So if you are a restaurant, pay attention to this. Updates are something that it seems few businesses actually do, but this is the way to continually improve your ranking. It's basically just like adding a post with a little bit of information and a photo or some sort of image. These will be included in your profile. They show up whenever someone is viewing your profile. And if you can do these regularly, like I say, your ranking will gradually improve. Now, let's take a look at some common problems with Google Business Profiles. Your profile may be unclaimed or there may be duplicates. Either way, this has to be fixed. You may have missing or inaccurate information in your profile. You may not have enough photos or maybe no photos even. It's also helpful to have the photos geotagged, which means that they are marked with the date, time, and location. If you're taking your photos with a smartphone, you don't have to worry about that. That happens automatically. No information about products and services. A lot of companies don't even bother entering any information about products and services. This is definitely an area that would suggest improving upon. Missing FAQs or frequently asked questions. Anything that you can add to your profile will build your ranking, will make you more visible in searches. Chat, get a quote not set up. This just means that you have not bothered to set up chat. The get a quote, as I said, is related to chat, available for certain types of businesses. No regular updates. Adding those updates is a way to continually improve and stay on top in Google searches. Now let's talk about how to make changes to your Google business profile. If you are already logged into your Google account and you're using the Chrome browser, you can open a tab and it will look something like this. You'll see 9 dots in the upper right here. If I click on that, you'll get a drop down with several selections here. The one on the upper right is Business Profile Manager. If I click on that, it takes me to this page, which is showing my profile on the right and settings on the left. Now, alternatively, you can visit business.google.com and you'll see a page that looks something like what you're seeing here on the screen. And on the upper right is a button labeled Manage Now. If you click that, it'll take you through a process of searching for your business. And if it's not found, they'll give you instructions on how to create your business. In either case, you'll end up with a page that looks like this. I'm going to zoom in on the settings here, which are on the left. And we're going to go through each of these, not in depth, but at least want to hit the high spots. So I'm going to click Edit Profile. First on the list is business name. This is critical to get right. It's helpful to have keywords in your business name. In my case, the keywords are digital marketing agency. If you do carpet cleaning, for example, you might want to have the words carpet cleaners or something like that in your business name. This helps a lot when searches are performed. But on the other hand, you don't want to go crazy and start adding all of your services or all of your locations or anything like that. Google does not like what they call keyword stuffing. They'll penalize you for that. Just your actual business name with, and hopefully your name has a keyword in it that's relevant. All right, next up is business category. It's very important to get this right as well for a couple of reasons. One is it really affects the way you show up in searches, and it also determines the options that you will have in your profile, which we'll talk about more a little bit in a minute. Next up is description. Here's where you can go crazy a little bit with throwing keywords in if you want to. You can list all your services, list your service areas. Although there are separate sections for that, it doesn't hurt to repeat some of it here. They give you about 750 characters. It's not a bad idea to fill that up. All right, then we've got phone number, website, location. In my case, the location is not visible because I don't really want people visiting me. But if you do, if you have a storefront or whatever reason you want people to visit you, this is where you'd enter that. It also there's also a place to list service areas, so you want to list all the cities that you serve. Business hours is next, and this is really divided into three sections. There's regular hours, which is mostly what you're seeing here on the screen. You can also add in special holiday hours and other special hours. These are mostly relating to restaurants. Take a look at this and see if any of these apply to you. Next up is read reviews, and it's obviously where you would go to read reviews, but also to respond to those reviews. And responding is very important. Google wants to see a response to every review, both positive and negative. Every time you do respond, that's a tiny boost in your ranking. So you want to do that. People like to see that as well, by the way. All right, messages. This is where you would go to see messages that were sent if you have chat set up. So if you don't have chat set up, here's one way to do it. If you go to the upper right, you see these three dots. If I click that, you get this drop down. If I click chat settings, you can see that I have chat turned on here at the top. So you want to do that. It doesn't happen automatically. You need to go in here and manually turn chat on. So it's very important to do that. Add photos, I'm going to actually skip because it's fairly self-explanatory. It's extremely important to have photos, but it's fairly self-explanatory. Performance is where you go to see how things are performing in your profile. They'll show interactions. What are interactions? They are when people call, message, make bookings, ask for directions, and more from your business profile on Google. So they break it down by calls, messages, bookings, and website clicks. This is a handy thing to look at periodically just to see how you're doing. Advertise, we're going to skip because this is how you do paid advertising, which we're trying to avoid here. Then we've got edit products and services. I'm going to go to services first just to show you what they look like. And basically, it's just a very simple list of services. Kind of boring, actually. It's just a list. There's no place for a description or photo. But if you go to products, on the other hand, now you can see here's a couple products that I've listed. There's images showing there. If you want to add a product, this is what you get. Place for product name. You can select a category, price, description, and photo. So much more information than simply listing services. So that's why you want to go ahead and enter your services here as a product, just because it shows up so much better in your profile. Now let's go to bookings. Now in my case, I have a booking calendar, and that link is listed right here. If you don't do bookings, then you'll just skip this part. Calls. This is where they will list every call that has gone through your profile to you. Google wants to make sure that you know that they're sending you calls. So this is where you'd see a record of that. Q&A. This is where you would answer questions that have been asked by people visiting your profile. You can also ask yourself a question by clicking this Ask a Question button up here, and then go ahead and answer it. These questions and answers will show up in your profile. And then we've got Add Update. Here's something that a lot of businesses just simply totally ignore. There's actually 3 choices here: Add Update, Add Offer, Add Event. Adding update is what I'm going to first here. That's essentially, it's like adding a post. There's a description, photos, you can add a button, and here's the choices for buttons: book, order online, buy, learn more, sign up, call now. So if those are appropriate, you'd want to do that. Next up, we're going to add offers. And in this case, you've got a title and a starting and ending date, details, photos, so quite a bit. This is where you'd go to add a special offer. Next up is adding an event. It's actually somewhat similar to an offer. You've got title, you've also got starting and ending date and time in this case, and photos. Any events, add it there under Add Update. Now I'm going to click on Ask for Reviews. And this is what you see. Mostly what I want to point out to you is this review link at the bottom here. What you can do is click on this little copy icon, and it will copy the web page for leaving reviews. So the page looks like this. This is the actual review form. What you can do is copy that link, send it to customers, clients, whatever, in an email or in a text message. You can also post it on your website. When they click it, they'll be taken to this page, to this form where they can leave their review, the number of stars, write details, add photos, etc. Now, another thing you can do with that link, I'll show you the link again. With this link here, it's possible to convert it easily into a QR code and then print it onto, let's say, a brochure, business card, or a sign at your business, perhaps with wording like this: "Are you satisfied with our service? Please scan the image and leave us a review." So they scan it with their phone and they're taken back to this page here where they leave their review. I want to add a couple more things about Google reviews. As I mentioned earlier, reviews are the second most important factor in your ranking after your Google business profile. You definitely need to pay attention to it. Ideally, you have at least a 4-star minimum average rating. People are reluctant to do business with anyone that has less than a 4-star rating. How many should you have? Well, there's no magic number here, but just ideally more than your competition. Google definitely looks at that. The total number of reviews does affect your ranking. How often should they be coming in? Just on a regular basis. Google doesn't like to see too many reviews coming in all at once and then nothing for months. They just need to be coming in at a steady pace, which just means that you need to be requesting those reviews on a regular basis. How recent should they be? Well, reviews tend to get ignored if they're more than, let's say, 6 months old. Google tends to ignore them, and of course, people ignore them. I personally will only look at recent reviews because I know that things change over time and an old review really doesn't mean a whole lot. So that pretty much wraps up my training today. To sum things up, the best way to get your business on the first page of Google and stay there is to perform these 4 tasks. Number 1, provide complete and accurate information in your Google business profile. 2, turn on all the free optional services that are available to you. 3, update your profile regularly by adding photos, news, offers, and events. And 4, ask for more reviews. By doing the things described, you can get up to 50% more calls and visits for free and possibly much more, as I mentioned earlier in the training. So that pretty much wraps up my training for today. To sum things up, the best way to get your business on the first page of Google and stay there is to perform these 4 tasks. Number 1, provide complete and accurate information in your Google business profile. Number 2, turn on all the free optional services that are available to you, and that will depend somewhat on the category that you have selected for your business. 3, update your profile regularly by adding photos, news, offers, and events. And lastly, ask for more reviews. By doing these things described, you can get up to 50% more calls and visits for free and possibly much more, as I described at the beginning of this training. While these tasks are relatively easy, they do obviously require some time and effort on your part. If you're a busy business owner, and I know many of you are, and don't want to do the work yourself, I now have a special offer for you. And it is relating to optimization of your Google business profile. So here's what we'll do. We'll check for unclaimed or duplicate profiles. We'll ensure that all information is accurate, which includes your business name, categories, address, phone, website, hours, etc. We'll research keywords and include them in the business description and other places in your profile. We'll add your service areas, and we don't stop there. We'll add up to 5 photos and check for geotagging. We'll add up to 5 products and services. We'll add a special offer if you have one, add up to 5 frequently asked questions, and set up Google Chat, which, as I mentioned, is a critical thing. If applicable, we'll also set up these features for your business: the Get a Quote button, a link to your appointment calendar, online reservations, and online ordering. I have also 3 bonuses I want to offer you. Our first bonus is 50 high-quality business directory citations. What is a citation? It is simply a listing of your business in a business directory. Now, this is one of the factors that Google looks at in determining your ranking. It's not one of the top 2, which, as I mentioned before, were Google Business Profile and Reviews, but nevertheless, it's one of the important factors that they look at. Every listing gives you just a little bit more of a boost in your ranking. Bonus number 2 is a Google ranking grid for your business. This is an example of a ranking grid for a business that's in the Philadelphia area. So as you can see, they're ranked number 1 in Philadelphia, and the numbers go up as you move away from Philadelphia, which also means your ranking is going down. Now, ideally, this is more what it looks like, where you've got more 1s and more 2s and just lower numbers throughout the service region. We will give you one of these for free. My third bonus is going to help you with all those calls you'll be getting from Google. And we call it missed call text back. And I need to explain this. This is not related really to your profile, but it's something we can offer you. We know that it's going to be useful, so we're just going to throw it in. But the way it works is that whenever someone calls you, and if for any reason you are unable to take the call, the caller will receive an immediate text message that says something like this: "Hi, this is Bob's Carpet Cleaning. I saw that we just missed your call. How can I help you?" So the caller can then just reply by text message, and you will see that reply in your phone. You can continue the conversation by text, and of course eventually move on to a phone call when you're ready. This can save you a lot of business. This is a way to plug leaks in your business. It's a way to avoid losing customers. It's important that they know that you're thinking about them, you haven't forgotten them, that it'll stop them from moving on to the next business and contacting somebody else rather than you. So we're throwing that in. Now, here's the value. Google Business Profile Optimization, that has a $500 value. The 50 business directory citations has a $100 value. The Google Ranking Grid, a $25 value. Missed call text back for 30 days, a $50 value. So the total value is $675. But of course, we're not going to charge you that. We want to make this a no-brainer offer for you. You'll have to look below somewhere on this page to see the current pricing. It may change over time. We also have a 100% money back guarantee. We only want happy, satisfied customers. For this reason, we have a simple guarantee. If for any reason you are not satisfied with our service, we'll refund 100% of your money. So you really have no reason not to use us. And I want to thank you. If you have any questions or comments, you can click the chat icon on the lower right of this page. It looks like this. Just click that, enter your question. We'll receive a text message and we'll respond by text on your phone. You can also schedule a call with me or someone on my team to discuss your specific needs. So that about wraps things up. And we want to, again, thank you for your time and hope we can work together. We'd love to help you.